Yeah, I'll jump in on it. So we're still waiting to get the unit. Actually, once it gets in, we'll know more about the tech specs or the maintenance and everything. We do expect this to have a relatively short need in the community because once we get into next year and Moderna is readily available, we start looking at the AstraZeneca, the Johnson Johnson, all these other pharmaceuticals are expected to have their EUAs approved and be flooding the market by as soon as March of next year. So I don't think this will be a really long-term need for this unit. Just right now, right up front, what it's going to do is help increase the quantity of all the vaccines that we'll have available to Hudson County at the onset of this instead of waiting until later.
No, yeah, I think getting it is the best idea that I've heard of. I'm 100% behind getting it. I just want to make sure that when we get it, that we didn't have some kind of it's some kind of European power supply, or we got to replace this this $200 filter once a week or something. So no, I think getting it is the best thing we can do for the community.
Yeah.
So Jerry,
we'll commit to.
Go ahead.
If there's any additional issues, with the power supply, or maybe, it's a 110 volt, but maybe the amperage requirements, aren't there. We'll take care of that with local funds if need be.
Yeah. No, I think it doesn't sound like there should be any big surprises with it. So Jerry, I think I don't know who made the motion, but
I did. John Edgington, Red Cross.
Okay, John, and are you approving? I'm just curious about the wording. Are you approving for the LEPC to reimburse the hospital for the cost of this unit?
Well, yeah, I was understanding that the LEPC is going to own the unit, so I said purchase the unit instead of reimburse. Because if we're buying the unit, then if we're going to own it, then we're buying the unit. That's why I wanted to clarify exactly what the motion should be.
My conversation with Don Bates at the hospital was through their contracts of being and being able to order some medical equipment, especially at a lower rate, that they would order this piece of equipment through their contracts, and then through the LEPC would reimburse them that money for where this unit would be. They said that the LEPC would own the piece of equipment, and that the equipment would be used countywide for this distribution of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay. So the hospital is physically buying this. We are going to reimburse the hospital for the cost of it, and LEPC will maintain ownership of the device. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And Philips is going to reimburse LEPC. So in the end, LEPC shouldn't be out. Everything's going to be a wash because Philips 66 is going to reimburse us for the cost also, right, Jerry?
Correct.
Okay. So, I don't know. Is the motion okay the way he worded it?
Yeah, I believe so. To reimburse the hospital for the cost of the refrigerator.
The motion was to purchase because the word reimburse is so vague. We're giving them money, but it doesn't tell who owns the unit. When I said purchase, that means that we own the LEPC owns the unit. That's why I chose those words.
All right. As long as it works for Jerry, as long as it works for you, we're good.
So the purchase of the equipment through the hospital because they're having to buy it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion for the LPC to purchase this piece of equipment at a cost of $9,526.17, and LPC will maintain ownership of it. So we have a motion. So we need a second to move forward.
This is Warren with the American Red Cross and the Texas Panhandle. I second the motion as amended.
So
motion's been.
So you're not going to be able to get a motion and a second both from the same area. So I'll second.
Yeah, we need to have a different organization for the second.
Well, I'll second from First Baptist Church Disaster Relief.
Okay. All right, Jerry, we good so far to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so motion been made and seconded. We're going to LEPC will purchase this cryogenic freezer with the upfront front intention of storing the corona vaccination at a cost of $9,526.17. All those, anybody opposed to us making this purchase? Okay. There's nobody opposed, so the motion will pass. We'll move forward with making the purchase, and then at some point we should recoup the money back to Phillips. So everything should be good. Jerry, are we okay to move on to item 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, and we've kind of talked about this in our last 2 LPC regular scheduled meetings. The rehab vehicle that Fritch Fire was given, and they run and operate this for the entire county, and it's been used by the entire county and by multiple jurisdictions. There was some repair costs. So Zeb, are you up?
Yes, sir.
Zeb. Okay. All right, Zeb. Give us a quick rundown on what we're looking at.
So on that particular vehicle, we had to take it into refinishing systems, have all the electrical redone on it. Had several different fuse blocks, batteries, and everything else that they had to change on that.
What? So what is the? I don't have a copy of it.
I'm on the.
Zeb would send me the invoice for that, Tim.
Okay, Jerry has it, Zeb.
Yeah, it's the total amount of the repair for the vehicle is $3,190.89.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So what Fritch has done, Fritch has applied through the LAPC for a reimbursement grant, basically, through our grant process. The chief at Fritch, Zeb, has filled out the application and presented that to Jerry with the invoice. So what we need to discuss and ultimately vote on is making that reimbursement to the city of Fritch, or to the Fritch Fire Department, not city of Fritch, via the Fritch firefighters. Any discussion?
What were the issues? Why did it have issues? Was this something new, or?
So the backstory on this was the truck had an electrical issue, and in the process, I think, of trying, and this happened during a time that when I wasn't on Fritch, there was an issue with the electrical system of trying to get the truck started, and it burned up some components. The main thing that it burned up on the truck was the ECM, basically the control module, the electrical brain for the vehicle. It burnt that up. It's a international diesel truck, so it has actually got 4 big truck batteries on it. And it actually, I think, I haven't actually seen the invoice, but I think there's a fair amount on the invoice for labor, just tracking it down. We worked on it at the fire station for probably a good 2 months, trying to track things down and troubleshoot things, replace the starter, and that isn't even part of this. The stuff that we did up front on it, and just couldn't get anywhere. So we had to send it off to a mechanic to get it worked on. So that was the issue with it. It was kind of an acute issue of trying to get that truck jumped off and burn up some components on it.
When we originally voted on the rehab vehicle, we were talking about helping supply that. Or are we expected to do the maintenance as well?
From my knowledge, we never really discussed maintenance on it. We discussed, I think there was a dollar amount or something of that nature. We'd have to go back in the minutes and look at keeping it supplied. We never discussed maintenance. I think at the time, and again, I don't believe we got in details about this. But the daily maintenance, the upkeep maintenance, Fritch has always paid for since they've had this vehicle. Keeping fuel in it, and when they bring it out to a scene, the fuel it requires to operate, and maintenance and oil changes. That's something that Fritch took on when we know by having this vehicle. This is, I guess I don't consider this a maintenance issue. I consider this a breakdown repair, repair issue with the truck. So, and that's where this is coming from. I guess I don't look at it as much as a maintenance issue. That answer your question, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And on the original application, I guess to supply the truck was $1,000 on that budget year to, upon submission of invoices, we would reimburse.
Right.
To supply the truck with, snacks and food and whatnot.
Yeah, and Jerry, I don't expect you to go back through our account and look, but we haven't even come close to that $1,000 a year, have we?
No.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that that's being carried in the truck right now is stuff that have been dropped off through donations. When there's a large fire, we all see, the community stands up and brings cases of water and snacks and stuff. So a lot of that stuff, when we get that at Fritch, goes on this truck. So there hasn't really been, I think, except for the initial kickoff when we did some stocking on the truck, I don't really think there's been a big expenditure from the LEPC keeping, putting money into it. So, any other discussions or questions, or we want to be completely transparent with what we're doing. So, Zeb, you got anything to add?
No, sir. But yeah, to follow up, like you were saying, Tim, it's factored into my budget for just everyday general maintenance, fuel, just kind of the wear tear, everything of the vehicle. We do have budgeted for general maintenance and upkeep of the vehicle.
Okay. Right. Yeah. If this was a blown tire, it's not something. I don't think Fritch would have come asking for reimbursement. If this was to be honest with you, if this was a $400 or $500 fix, I don't think Fritch would have asked for this. It's just, this was one of those unexpected costs that we are asking for, to get reimbursed or at least discuss the possibilities of it. So. Anyways, so we just need, if there's no more discussion, we just need somebody to make a motion to move forward with the reimbursement. Zeb, you want to make a motion for us to reimburse it?
Yeah, I make a motion for the LEPC to reimburse City of Fritch Fire Department for the rehab truck.
Okay, for the cost of the repairs.
For the cost of the repairs, yes.
We have anybody to second it?
Yeah, Alan will second it.
Okay, thanks, Alan. So we got a motion made and seconded on the floor for LPC to reimburse the cost of $3,190.89 to the Fritch Firefighters Association for the cost of repairing the rehab vehicle. Anybody opposed to us moving forward with doing that, or anybody opposed to that expenditure? All right. If nobody's opposed, then that carried also. That motion passed.
Before we get off, list or write down everybody who's on the.
Jerry, were you saying something? My radio was coming up.
Yeah, we're trying to write down everybody who's on the meeting. So.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's fine. We have, while they're writing down names, we'll discuss this real quick. We got our next meeting on schedule, I believe, for the December 15th. Was that a set meeting, or was that a tentative date we were holding in case we need it? 'Cause I know also had January 19th for our next.
That was a tentative date for this truck, for the truck repairs.
Right. I know. Yeah. If we had, I know we were talking if we had anything come up. So, being we've had this meeting, does anybody see a reason to go ahead and hold that December 15th date for a LEPC meeting?
No.
Okay. So then we'll go ahead with our next scheduled meeting, January 19th. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Hey, Jerry, one thing, if you could add to the agenda for that 19th meeting. So when Jerry called me about this freezer, and this is one of those things I think everybody understands because we have this freezer unit, it puts us higher on the list to get the vaccination to our citizens. So, but because we have a procedure with LPC and how we have to vote and how we have to do things, it required us to have this meeting to make this vote. So I would like to, on the January 19th agenda, have something on the agenda that we can have a discussion of how we could do maybe an email vote or something for emergency situations that pop up. That
Okay.
I mean, because there could be something that pops up that, hey, we need to spend $5,000, right now or within the next 24 hours for something for the community that we have to do. And I believe, talking to Jerry, that we don't have that verbiage in our procedures that we can do that. So I would just like to have a discussion. Is it worthwhile of us doing that? And if so, then we need to make an amendment to our bylaws that gives us some leeway of doing that for future things. Hopefully that would never happen, but it could have, it could have been a situation that Jerry called this time and said, hey, we've got 6 hours to make a decision to spend this, or we're going to be 6 months behind getting this vaccination.
An executive.
So can we add that to the something along those lines to the agenda for next meeting, Jerry?
Okay. We'll put something on.
And
Jerry, we can consider using that Everbridge also, since it can send out the text with voting options to where they can respond. That'd be great. That would cause that way, even if somebody is sitting in a deer stand someplace, they can respond. And because we have to have a quorum and a certain number of people voting when we do things, one person that may be completely for making an expenditure can't get to his email or something of that nature. So that's a great idea. But I think it's worth discussing. So.
Okay. I have one person, I have a phone number that I don't know who it is. I have Tim, you're on there on the phone, and I got John, but I don't know who the other one is. Last number is 615 or 381.
Probably PRPC.
Delaney. We've got Delaney
PRPC on there.
from PRPC.
Is it Becky?
No,
No. Well, I don't know unless she called in also.
but well, yeah.
Hey, Jerry, do you guys record these Zoom
Yes.
meetings?
They're on YouTube.
Okay, so we have an audio recording of the meeting, just like we would if we were in person, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of another thing. It's kind of, go ahead, Alan.
Did you see the text 3381 is PRPC?
Oh, PRPC.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Jerry, I guess another thing we probably need to look at doing is to help you guys out, so we're not trying to figure out who's on a call, because we're doing these remotely for the foreseeable future, at least. Maybe when we start a call, we need to do some kind of roll call. Would that help you?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everybody's name pops up over here on my
Right.
participants. It's just if you call in, it just gives me a phone number, not a name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess if they don't come in through the Zoom app, then
Yeah.
they don't have the option to put their name in. So, all right. Well, then we'll just be sure that when we have these, somebody with the phone number, we'll just make sure we get that up front. So, because somebody may fall off the call halfway through it or something. All right. Jerry, you got everything you need?
Everything I need.
All right. Anybody have anything else to bring up or that you'd like to add to next the January 19th agenda? All right, perfect. Well, then I guess we need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion. We adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Alan, thank you. We have a
Warren
second.
with the Red Cross. I second the
All right.
motion.
All right, Warren, thank you. Anybody opposed to adjourning the meeting? All right, that passed. We'll talk to you guys on January 19th, and you guys hope everybody has a great Christmas and enjoy time with your friends and family.
Thank you.
Thank you.